Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Sheep Get Sheared Podcast. I'm your host, Austin Creed. I want to welcome you into the show. So, my friends, yes, it is Super Bowl Sunday, and in the spirit of the sports spirit, we're going to talk about not the Super Bowl as much as, oh God. So, every morning I tend to go for a little bit of a walk. Sometimes I grab coffee and I get to see all the Beckies out there getting their breakfast brew, and I go in there and I look up at the screen and I look right up at the big screen above where they're making all the coffee, and I see none other than Taylor Swift and her boyfriend. I see everybody talking about, ooh, who do you think's going Super Bowl? Ooh, I can't wait, the countdown. Ooh, boy, it's gonna be good. Oh yeah, man, I can't wait. Yeah, buddy, Super Bowl. And all this stuff. And I look up and I thought to myself, who even cares about this crap?
What?
Like, people care more about this game than they do about the fact that Joe Biden's not being charged with the same thing that Trump's getting charged for. They don't care that Trump might go to jail. They don't care that people are being thrown off the ballot in many states. They don't care about any of that crap, but they care about, ooh, oh my gosh, I saw Taylor Swift. Oh my God.
Oh my God!
And oh, is Taylor Swift gonna make it back for the game so she can see her boyfriend? Oh my God, who's gonna win the game? Oh, who's gonna win? Who cares about all this crap, bro? But you know what? I checked myself for a second and I said, evidently, a lot of people care. But you know what? Also, there's a lot of big money wrapped up in this game, as there is in pro sports in general. And you know what popped in my head, as God is my witness? As I was thinking about this, again, I said to myself, this is exactly what Cato the Elder wrote about when he wrote about the pebble in the shoe and about bread and circuses. We've gone from the gladiators of ancient Rome to the gridirons of today. There's a very there's a very equal equivalent exchange when it comes to these two examples. There's a level of equivalency when it comes to these two groups. Now, I know, apparently there's some trend on TikTok about how many times you think about ancient Rome in a day. Well, I'd be in trouble. I'll tell you that right now. But it's interesting when you look at we as human beings, we like to think that, especially in the modern era, that we're distinguished. We're better than those people, those dirty, unwashed barbarian heathens in the past. But when you think about it, we're really not all that different. We just have more technology. We have apparently more morality, when in fact it's all for show. And we like to think we're different, but we're really just regurgitating and recycling the same ideas, the same sports, and the same concepts. So, to really bring this point home on how the chickens come home to roost, I'm going to show you this real quick. Let's read this. Who was Cato the Elder? If you don't know who Cato the Elder is, you didn't pay attention in history class, because he was a Roman statesman who wrote about military science, Roman history, and rural life. So he came up with the phrase bread and circuses, if I remember correctly. And the phrase bread and circuses is a Roman writer's lament about the decline of Roman heroism after the Roman Republic and the founding of the Roman Empire. The phrase refers to the government's practice of keeping the Roman people happy by providing free food and staging large spectacles. Sound familiar? Does it sound familiar to you? Large spectacles, the promise of free food, and whatnot sound familiar to anybody? Yeah, the Super Bowl is a great example of this. The phrase bread and circuses is also known as, panem et circenses. Oh gosh, I can't. Oh man, this is terrible.
Oh, hell no!
Circenses in Latin. The phrase refers to a superficial appeasement, which is when the society gains public approval through distraction and diversion to hide fundamental flaws.
Well, this is getting weird.
No parallels, anybody? Nobody sees what I'm talking about? People care more about the Super Bowl than they do about the circus in Washington, D.C. They care more about watching men in helmets sweat and bang into each other, pause, than they care about the debates happening in Washington, D.C. or in the State House. They don't care about that, but they care about this. They care about watching their home team more than they care about their local home, their state home, their country home. They don't care about that, but they seem to care a lot about this bread and circuses known as the NFL. The phrase bread and circuses refers to the government's practice of keeping the Roman people happy by providing enough food so they won't starve and enough entertainment so that they would be amused. The most famous circus in Rome was the Circus Maximus, or the Maximum Circus, the most entertainment. Sound familiar? Now, for those of you who are, maybe you saw the movie Gladiator. Great movie, by the way. If you haven't seen it, I recommend it. It's very, very good. But gladiators were the closest equivalents to the modern football player that we have today. Okay? Obviously, we don't have people butchering each other in arenas today, at least not in the Western world. Maybe they do in the Middle East somewhere or whatever. But that's what they used to do. They used to fight like we see in the movies today. People would actually do that, but the person wouldn't have special effects. It would just be the spilling of their blood would just spill in plain English. So we're gonna look at some facts of these gladiators and see if you see any comparisons to the modern day. Let's look at this.
Crazy history facts about Roman gladiators. Romans were so obsessed with gladiators that bottles of their sweat and ornaments colored with their blood were sold as aphrodisiacs and love potions. In one unforgettable match, a gladiator named Maximus fought against several opponents and defeated each one with such speed and skill that the crowd started to believe he was invincible.
That's interesting, isn't it? You see the parallels already? Also, I really hope this music doesn't give me a copyright. But let's look at, isn't that interesting? Immediately out the gate. That's like, we see athletes that are larger than life. People think they're the GOAT. They're the greatest of all time. No one's better than them. They're the best. Well, this is the best back in ancient Rome. What's the difference? The difference is just the time period.
In another match, a skilled gladiator named Marcus found himself against a ferocious lion in the arena and did the unbelievable. Instead of fighting, he approached the lion and began to pet it like a house cat. Gladiators had a clever way to guarantee they would get a decent burial. Trade unions called collegia. Each gladiator would pay for membership, which would ensure that a fallen gladiator would get a proper burial. If a gladiator could not afford, their body would be fed to the animals or would be thrown in the river.
I had trade unions. Oh man. Yo, I'm telling you, bro. History repeats itself in the most hilarious ways. First of all, they were the pro athletes of their day. They were the people that you went to go see and you're like, oh yeah, I know that guy. Oh, I've heard about him. He's the best. Oh, I can't wait to watch this match. It's the same thing as today. But instead of buying jerseys, apparently they were buying their sweat and murals that had their DNA in it. What's the difference, dude? There are stories of women that were like wives of senators or even of the emperor or whoever who would go, or even of Roman citizens, they would go get their wife plowed by the gladiators. Oh, that sounds familiar. Sounds like what most people watch on a daily basis on multiple platforms across the internet, considering that about half the internet's traffic right now as you watch this show or listen to this show, half the internet traffic is going to pornography. So, again, history repeats itself. Just as women today are fiending to be with these verified pro-athletic men, the women of ancient Rome found the gladiators as larger-than-life, pro-athlete level men. Now, would they marry them? No, of course not. But they would definitely fornicate with them, 100%. And so I want you then to, let's go to Exhibit 3, okay? women love pro athletes, okay? Part of the reason is they want to either get that child support check or marry them and divorce them or both. So there's that element, but there's also the element of they're the larger than life, big, strong guys, right? Well, we're going to go into that right now. So let's see what the women have to say about this.
So I was watching the NFL game, and this gorgeous man, like chef's kiss gorgeous. He was 230, 6'4".
What did I just say about the Roman statesmen's wives, the Roman citizens' wives, and going to see the gladiators? There's no difference. This is the modern day equivalent.
And I was just mesmerized. And my friend was like, have you talked to him yet? And I was like, how am I going to talk to him? We're watching it on the screen. We're not even at the game. And she's like, you haven't messaged him yet? I'm like, no, message him. She's like, let's message him on Instagram. I was like, why would I do, what? She's like, I do it all the time. I'm like, you message who all the time? She's like, I message celebrities all the time.
Oh, in case you're wondering why you can't get a date, it's because the women you're trying to date and double texting are quadruple texting pro athletes, actors, comedians, politicians, you name it. Also, ma'am, I'm sorry, but you need braces. I'm getting distracted by the gap in your teeth that I could swipe my credit card through. Please get braces.
She's like, I message Kanye West like on the weekly basis.
Oh, not Kanye. Oh, no.
Oh, hell no!
I love the poorly educated.
Oh, no. Not Kanye.
I'm like, that's a little crazy. And she's like, no, they answer. So I was like, okay. So she takes my Instagram and she messages this guy like, hey, I saw you tonight. You played so well. Giving him all these compliments. And she's like, I know you probably have a lot of girls in your DM, but it would be so nice if we could meet.
Oh my god!
He messages back within like the hour. And he asks me out on a date.
Look at this woman's face, dude. Look at this face. She like, oh my god, I can't believe I got him. Like she wetter than Niagara Falls right now, talking about this story. Gentlemen, if you want to know why your relationship life is no good, you want to know why you can't get a date, it's because the women you're chasing are chasing men like what she just talked about. 230 pounds, 6'4", pro athlete, loaded, looks good, you name it, boom. That's why you can't get a date. It's also why I call them the modern gladiators of our time. Because women would look at the gladiators like this in ancient Rome. Because you didn't know that, by the way. They look at even though the gladiators were technically slaves, they were the pinnacles of masculinity. They were warriors. They were larger than life. They were celebrities of their time. And a lot of them gained their freedom because they were making their masters so much money. No, I'm not saying that pro athletes are necessarily slaves today. I mean, not literally anyway. Arguably, you could say that because even though they're getting paid a lot of money, they don't have a lot of freedom, whatever. I'm not going to get into that. That's not the point. The point is, look at this woman's face, dude. Women are talking about Kanye West. They're talking about how, oh, I want this man. He's so sexy. Women in ancient Rome had the same faces talking about the athletes of their day. This is nothing new. Nothing new at all.
I was really shocked. I was like, oh, what do I do? I can't believe this. Anyways, long story short, we dated for a whole year. And this guy was like the biggest teddy bear, sweet, nice man. So this is your sign to shoot your shot.
Shoot your shot, you say. Oh, in other words, gentlemen, if you're not this guy, you dusty, you broke, whatever. I mean, that is not the point. But I want to highlight to you that this is part of the reason why the Super Bowl is so big and why I call it the bread and circuses. Because no one wants to talk about the real issues in life. They'd rather watch the game. They'd rather root for their home team instead of looking at the public policies, the politics, the laws and whatnot that affect them that are being drafted by the politicians. Back in the day, in ancient Rome, the politicians were the ones who hosted the games, usually the emperor or the senators, because they wanted the people's votes, number one, and number two, because they wanted the people to be happy. They wanted to distract the people from their peasant lives and provide them with entertainment. My friends, I'm not telling you not to enjoy sports. I'm not telling you not to root for your home team. You can do whatever you want. I just want you to be aware that this is a planned distraction away, meant to divert your attention away from what truly matters, what they don't want you to focus on. There are people who are paid a lot of money who are basically no more than the jesters that kings used to hire in their courts to distract their courts from the shadowy conditions that they were surrounded by. The problem today is the jester used to wear a hat so people and an outfit so people knew who he was. Now they wear a suit and a tie and a nice haircut, and so you can't tell. You want to think they're actually nice people. They're not. They're jesters. Some of them are government jesters. Some of them are corporate jesters. But you need to understand that these spectacles that are planned like this, and millions, if not billions of dollars are poured into them, they are meant to distract you from the real issues we face. The athletes are the modern day gladiators. We've gone from gladiators to gridlocks. The question for you is, are you going to let them guide your attention away? Are you going to let them divert your attention and your time away from what really matters? Are you going to let them distract you? Remember that scene? And I don't know if I can play this without getting a copyright. You know what? We'll do it live. We'll do it live. We'll see. Hopefully I don't get a copyright. But you remember that clip from the Lego movie where Everett's like watching TV, and then what's his name? President Business is like, oh god, let me pull up that. This is gonna prove my point exactly. Watch this. Give me 1 second. All right, here we go. Ready? Here.
Want to do this morning? Watch TV? Me too.
Hi, I'm President Business, president of the Octan Corporation and the world. Let's take extra care to follow the instructions or you'll be put to sleep. And don't forget Taco Tuesday's coming next week. That's the day every rule-following citizen gets a free taco and my love. Have a great day, everybody.
So you look at that right away and you think, oh, you know what? Not a big deal. Totally not a big deal. You know, oh, President Business is a nice guy. Oh, he cares about everybody. Meanwhile, he told on himself. He owns everything. You should immediately question it. And look what Everett does right here.
You have a great day too, President Business. Man, he's such a cool guy. I always want to hear more of what... Wait, did he say put to sleep?
Tonight on Where Are My Pants?
Honey, where are my pants?
What was I just thinking? I don't care.
Yep. That looks about right to me.
Oh, hell no!
Yep, that's what most people do right there. Let's play it back one more time. So President Business just said he owns everything, he controls everything, whatnot, and he's like, wait a minute, did he say put to sleep? And then let's play that back one more time. Watch this.
What? Wait, did he say put to sleep?
Tonight on Where Are My Pants?
Honey, where are my pants?
What was I just thinking? I don't care.
Yep. That sounds about right. That's what most people do right there. They think, oh, what was it? Like, they pay attention for 2 seconds, and then the next thing you know, there's some goofy distraction, and they're like, what was I talking about? I don't care. And immediately they forgot their train of thought. They're not focused anymore. They don't know what's going on, or they don't care. And then they move on with their lives, and they totally missed it. Like, that's what we face all the time. And that's what this Super Bowl serves as. And everybody, and they have you so deceived. People will literally watch the Super Bowl for the gosh dang ads that benefit the corporations that people then... So you can literally be a straight communist bum, hate capitalism, but yet you'll watch the advertisements for the most crooked corporations on the planet because they're entertaining. You see how backwards that is? And then if you call them out, they'll say something like,
"Are you talking to me?"
Yeah, pretty much. And then meanwhile, the whole thing, all they're actually saying is this.
Business. Numbers. Is this working?
Yes.
And then people want to act like, oh, this isn't foul. This isn't a problem. Look, you live your life, my friend, but all I gotta say is,
Silly rabbit, tricks are for kids.
all right, I'll let you decide where you want to do. Enjoy the game if you watch it. You're not gonna watch it, you know what? More power to you. But at the end of the day, stay vigilant, stay informed. Please question everything you heard, whether it's from me, other content creators, you see it on TV, don't matter. And if by the end of this you say you hate me, well,
Hey, I hate you too, bitch.
no, I'm joking. I'm not playing. I'm playing. Okay. Anyways. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm out of here. Have a great day. Peace.